Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Raw the day after. Now, usually, listen, I have problems sleeping. I have insomnia, and I was given this on my plane ride over to England, which was the never-ending a plane ride. It went on for hours and hours and hours. So they give you one of these bad boys, to fall asleep on the plane. So, once in a while when I'm at home and I can't fall asleep, like I have either one or two choices. I could either, take this out. A lot of times I can't find it. I don't remember where I put things anymore because I'm old. I could either, is my mic? Yeah, there it is. Okay, thank you. I could either break this bad boy out, or I could either while I'm, starting to nod off a little bit, while I'm starting to nod off and I need to close the deal, I can either, put on my DVR and, usually, 9 out of 10 times, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I can usually put on an episode of Raw. That usually does the trick, puts me to sleep within a couple of minutes. But, I got to tell you, last night I DVR'd the show and like it didn't even take a couple of minutes. I think now we're looking at seconds, because I don't want to sit here and I don't want to rip the show. But I got to tell you, here's the best word I can use to sum up. Now, first of all, you have to remember that me and my boy Jeff Lane sat here last week and put the show over. We clearly said numerous times there was more good than bad. We said that. But I guess the best word to describe last night's show was just eventful. I mean, literally, absolutely nothing happened in 3 hours. I mean, really, good or bad. I don't even know what we're critiquing this morning, to be honest with you, Jeff. I don't know what there is to critique, because it was 3 hours of just uneventful, like that's the best word I can use to describe it, like uneventful programming. Like it doesn't, Jeff, I don't even know if it warrants a critique, because I don't even know what we would talk about. Jeff, am I being too harsh on last night's episode of Raw?
No, I don't think so, because in my blog yesterday, I wrote a few things that I thought they needed to accomplish with last night's show. And one of the things I said is it can't be a stall show. Don't leave us in the same spot at the end of the show as we were at the beginning of the show. And that's exactly what they did, save like one or two little things. But we're pretty much in the same spot as we were before the show started.
Yeah, Jeff, nothing happened. Jeff, you know how I can tell? This is how I can tell. First of all, I DVR the show because the show nowhere near warrants for me watching it live. I'm sorry, bro. Before Teen Mom, Teen Mom just ended. Okay. And that's what I used to watch on Monday nights in place of Raw. But now, bro, I'll watch any Major League Baseball game on television. There's no way this show warrants me watching it live. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just being honest with you. So like, here's how I could tell, Jeff. I watch it on DVR. I came on the show last week, Jeff, and I told you there were a lot of times when I stopped my DVR. I wanted to see what was going on. I was interested, and I didn't just, there's like you could go the 1 hour, the 2 hours, the 3 hours, or the 4 hours. I'm usually on the 4 hours, okay, to get through this freaking thing. But, last week I stopped. I watched this yesterday with my DVR. I swear, Jeff, I think I got through the entire show in a matter of 10 minutes. Nothing happened on this show. Nothing.
It really shouldn't have taken you that long to fast forward through the actual material anyway, because there were so many highlights and clips from previous shows, and it seemed like, a third of the show was just like clips of this happened last week, or this happened earlier, or this happened on SmackDown. Oh, but yeah, you're exactly right, man.
Jeff, you said it last week. I remember we were here, only a week ago, and you said it last week when we put over the show. Okay, now let's get a string of good, consistent shows. I mean, that's what you said, and you also said it seems like we get excited about a Raw. Okay, this is where we turn the corner. This is where we go. And then the next week, you just drop us off the edge of the cliff. These are all the things you said last week. This is always the pattern when there is a good show and they can't follow it up, bro. It's almost like there's a good show, Jeff. They don't know how to follow it up. So the next 5 shows bring them back to the point prior to the one good show. So, okay, hey guys, 5 weeks of crappy shows, time to write a good show. So they write the good show. Then guess what? Crappy. Okay, guys, time to write it. I mean, my God, Jeff, I'm sorry. I don't want to come on here and say bad things about this show, and I really can't. Nothing happened to talk about. Go ahead, bro. Start the critique. What are we going to talk about?
Well, first off, we don't need to apologize. Like, I found myself apologizing for critiquing things, and then I'm like, you know what? It's not my fault. If the show was good, I wouldn't, have to critique it. And last night, there was so much you could see where they were stalling. Like, the pay-per-view's 4 weeks away. What do we do? Let's try to get through this 3 hours. And that was more evident than ever last night. And it's hard to believe that last night's show was written by the same people that wrote last week's show, because it just, I don't know. You would think somebody completely different was responsible for the whole thing. But we start off, Brock Lesnar comes out. Now, I do want to say this. The pop this guy got, for people that I know you're always getting into it with people that don't understand what over is, that's over. Go listen to the pop that Brock Lesnar got last night at the beginning of the show. That is over. That's what people need to be striving for their entire roster, because it used to be that way. Like, everybody was over, but that's what over is. But I was trying to think of other things to talk about, because, like you said, there really wasn't much meat to this show. And, like, I would remember, like, Raw would always start with, if they were going to show highlights from last week, that was shown immediately as it goes on the air before they even go into the open scene in the pyro and all that. That was shown first. Last night, they start with the open. Brock comes out. Brock's in the ring, and then they show this very long replay from last week. I know it's scripted that way. You script that stuff into the show, but that's got to kill the live crowd. He's just standing in the ring. I mean, isn't there some type of logic to doing it before the show starts as it being the first thing, as opposed to kind of dulling the pop and the momentum while Brock's standing in the ring?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, Jeff, without that, it's called the cold open, Jeff. And the cold open is what happened last week that sets up this week. That's the cold open. So you play the cold open first. Here comes Brock. We're ready to go. Let's go. Let's get into action. Let's start off hot. That's the mentality. That's what the mentality used to be. But yeah, you're dead on, Jeff. That gets changed. We show the footage of last week, with Brock standing in the ring, and you've already taken the edge off the show. Then you got the 15-minute build almost, bro, to, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and they after that.
Jeff, I'm not done. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
My name.
You could throw in some Kevin Owens snorts right now. That would fit.
Bro, listen, bro, rip me all you want. And again, bro, it is partially his fault. You can put over Paul Heyman till the cows come home. I am so this act with Brock Lesnar is literally getting to the point of being as boring as Stephanie and Triple H. It's the same spiel. It's the same thing. My client this, my client that. And you know what? I can sit here and say, oh, okay, like we always do, Jeff, it's the writers. It's not Paul Heyman's fault. It's the writers. No, you know what? Paul Heyman has a character. And rather than go out there and say the same thing every single time and go get your paycheck, get involved with at least your dialogue and your part of the show, and try to talk and work to the right with the writers and Vince to try something differently, bro. Not the same freaking promo every single. We know what Stephanie and Triple H are going to say. We know what Paul Heyman is going to say. Why are we sitting there watching the show without changing the channel till the next thing happens? It's so cookie cutter. It's so okay. All right, Paul. He's your client, Brock Lesnar, bro. We get it. You've said every catchphrase to freaking nauseum. Okay, let's get on with the freaking show. Go ahead.
So then they go, after Heyman's promo, they go to another replay of last week. I'm sorry, not last week, but the events that led to his suspension. They showed all the WrestleMania stuff, him taking out Michael Cole with the F5. So then Heyman says that for Lesnar to be able to return, that he has to apologize to JBL and Michael Cole. So if he doesn't apologize, then the authority's going to take away his title shot at Battleground. So Lesnar goes over and he shakes JBL's hand, and then gives Michael Cole a noogie, and then Heyman cuts a promo on Seth Rollins. So,
well, Jeff, all that. Listen, Jeff, in your wildest dreams, the way we've built Brock Lesnar, in your wildest dreams, bro, did you ever envision him giving anybody a noogie? This is the weak WWE attempt. Okay, everybody. Brock Lesnar's a babyface now. So Brock Lesnar's going to go over there and give Michael Cole a noogie, and everybody's going to laugh at Brock Lesnar because everybody's sitting out there in television land without a brain. Brock Lesnar is a babyface now. So, this UFC killer is now going to noogie one of our commentators. Bro, that's why people laugh at the WWE. That's why MMA came along and literally blew it out of the water, took the entire pay-per-view audience away from this nonsense because it's silly and it's stupid. And okay, guys, Brock Lesnar is a heel now. You got to cheer Brock. So this killer is now going to give Michael Cole a noogie. Does everybody get it? Does everybody understand? Okay, good. Go. I would be sitting in these creative meetings. I would love these things to come up in these creative meetings with me sitting there. Like, I can't even imagine, like, I would say, wait a minute. Brock's going to what? You're ribbing me, right? That's a joke. Oh, yeah, funny, guys. I get it. Wait, what do you mean you're serious? You're serious. Brock Lesnar is going to go over there and give Michael Cole. Okay, all right. Hey, if that's what you guys want to do.
I know you've been married for 31 years, but before you met your wife, did you ever have like a crazy psycho girlfriend?
Yeah, not psycho to the 10th degree, but yeah, I had a couple.
Because Michael Cole's reaction, like the way Michael Cole was acting when Brock was coming towards him, like that reminded me, like when you say your psycho girlfriend's going crazy and you say something just to piss her off, and then she comes at you like she's going to just beat the crap out of you. You're like, all right, just I'm kidding. Settle down. That's what that looked like to me. Like, I don't know if that was the reaction they wanted out of Cole, especially with his anger with the lawsuit and all that. But, yeah, the noogie, I don't know. Crowd liked it. I don't know. It was silly. It was absolutely silly. And I don't even remember what Heyman said in his promo on Rollins. I think he's you're going to Suplex City, bitch. Yeah. So he took
and bro, I swear to God, it's like when Lesnar comes out and all these guys come out, bro, the nauseum of the announcers putting over catchphrases and suplex. I mean, too freaking nauseum. It's like, oh God, Jeff, why do I have to watch the show? Can we talk about the girl last night with you? This 22-year-old hot Sarah Rusi coming on to Jeff like it was nobody. I swear I'd much rather talk about that because like what are we going to talk about like the rest of the show? Okay, what was next, Jeff?
Well, we had Dean Ambrose versus Kane. Seth Rollins comes out during the match, and so Ambrose goes to attack him on the outside, which allows Kane to get the upper hand and the victory. And then we start the absolute destruction and downfall of Seth Rollins as we have the first moment of the evening.
Jeff, before we do that, can we back up? Why are we putting Kane over Dean Ambrose, bro? I don't understand. Like, okay, bro, that was part of the story that Rollins is trying to now recruit the guys that he didn't need to beat Dean Ambrose. He didn't need them. Now he's trying to recruit them. So now we sacrifice Dean Ambrose as part of this ridiculous and stupid story because by Kane getting the win, because Rollins came out, now Kane knows something to Rollins. Oh, okay. In the meantime, the guy that was in the main event 2 weeks ago is literally losing to a 7-foot jobber, at this point. Oh, and then they wonder, oh, shoot, why isn't Ambrose over the way we really want him to be over? The fans pop when he comes out, but we want him to be the guy. Why isn't he over? Well, he's not over because he's losing to Kane. So go ahead.
Then we go backstage, and Rollins is telling Kane, we need to get the band back together. Kane refuses and walks away. And this was the thread for the evening, and it was awful. Normally I'll put over the effort, but this was just bad because it's not like it was they tried with an idea and it just failed. This is like they sat down and they said, how can we bury our champion tonight? What is the absolute best storyline we could use to make Seth Rollins look like garbage? And that's what they did, because you got this guy, he's the world heavyweight champion. He's begging these people like J&J Security to join him. It's just awful. Oh my God, it was terrible.
Bro, these guys in the back, bro. I mean, Rollins, Ambrose, all these guys in the back, bro, they have to be Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns. They have to be talking amongst each other about how horrible this stuff is. I mean, Seth, there's no doubt in my mind, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, don't know him, never met him. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, these guys just have to be off in a corner somewhere talking amongst themselves about just how utterly, utterly, utterly horrible this is and what they're asked to do. And that's why I make it clear. I don't put any of this stuff on them. But you talk about dropping the ball, Jeff. Again, 2 weeks ago, Rollins beat Ambrose at the pay-per-view with nobody's help. Rather than build on that and build the champion on that, we're right back where we started, bro. We're absolutely right back where we started. And I got to tell you, Jeff, if we're not talking about this show and I'm just a fan and I'm watching this show, when they would have had that scene in the back with Kane, let's get the band back together, and I'm sitting there and saying, okay, now we're right back where we started with Chicken, you know what heel, Seth Rollins. Right then and there, I would have turned off the show for the rest of the night. I mean, right there, maybe 30 minutes in, whatever it is. I mean, that would have been it. That would have been it for me. Okay, I got it. The guy's a chicken shit heel. Even though he beat Ambrose by himself and didn't need any help, now because Brock Lesnar's his opponent, then he's got to recruit the band to get the band back together. It's what I said, Jeff. Why do you want to be the world heavyweight champion then? You know there are going to be challenges like challengers like Brock Lesnar. You know it. So why do you want to be the champion? Like, I don't understand. What's the point of being the champion? Guys like Brock Lesnar are going to be coming over your belt. Why would you want to be champion, which is going to be even a greater flaw by the end of the night, because this Wrestling 101 nonsense is so flawed in 2015. It's comical, bro. This should be a sitcom. The wrestling business has become a freaking total parody of itself. Me and Glenn used to laugh about this 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we would say the wrestling business has become a total parody of itself. That's what it is, bro. This is like a Christopher Guest movie. I swear that's exactly what it is, bro. It's a parody of professional wrestling. That's what the show is, because this stuff doesn't happen in real life. It would never happen in real life. With Jeff, there is a better chance of Wayward Pines happening in real life than what we see on Raw. I'll be honest with you. I think there's a better chance of that happening than a guy that wants to be the champion and he's running away from everybody with his tail between his legs.
And they've totally ignored the fact that he won the title by himself at WrestleMania. Nobody helped him do that. You know what I mean? He did that all on his own. So I don't understand why that's not a factor.
Jeff, how did he win it all on his own? He won it all on his own by using his brain, right, by picking the right spot at the right time. Rollins' brain has never come into, and that is another asset you can use for heels. They're smart enough to, outthink people. That's more believable than I'm going to run from every single one of my opponents. And they've never, you're right, Jeff, they've never hit upon that. And that is so much more viable than, okay, I'm just going to run away from everybody.
I think they missed out last night. I would have liked to seen something done with Reigns and Lesnar. Just because this is the first time they've really been in the building since WrestleMania and the whole deal. I don't know. To me, I just would have liked to see like a face-to-face kind of like meet up between the two.
Jeff, I agree with you, but that's not part of the cookie cutter ingredients. This is cookie cutter. It's one-on-one cookie cutter. We're not going to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, therefore they cannot cross paths. You're never, ever going to see that happen, and I agree with you 100%.
We go to the primetime players versus the Ascension, and this started a trend. Certain things just irritate me that probably aren't really that big of a deal, but they irritate me anyway. And this happened like 5 times in the night, and I marked everyone down. But they show the Ascension already in the ring. They don't show their entrance, which I can't comprehend for 2 reasons. One is they have a difficult time filling 3 hours, so why cut out the minute of the entrance that would help them fill the time? And the other thing, it's part of the package to get these people over. The entire entrance, the whole deal.
Jeff, they probably didn't cut the entrance. This is probably what happened, okay? Whoever is timing the show and whoever is sitting at the gorilla position at that point, used to be Bruce Pritchard when I was there, and Bruce Pritchard was good at it. They're very good at what I did. In TNA, it used to be Bob Ryder, and that was just comical. That right there could have been a sitcom within itself. the travel agent is sitting at the gorilla position, and then TNA wonders why it's on life support. Okay, let me get back to this, Jeff. So, Jeff, at that point in time, they're probably heavy. You see what I'm saying, Jeff? They're probably like behind now. So now they're probably trying to get back to where they should be. So whoever is sitting at the gorilla position is saying, kill Eccentric's attention, and let's pick it up with them in the ring. But here's the problem, Jeff. You got the next 2 hours and 15 minutes to make up that time. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to make it up right then and there, but because they're panicking, because they're long, we're going to make it up right here to get back on track. So let's kill the entrance of the Ascension and open up with them in the ring. Meanwhile, like I said, Jeff, you got 2 hours and 15 minutes to make up that time. So again, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely dead on. These guys need everything to help get them over. Can you really afford to, take out the entrance?
Primetime players get the win. And while right after the match is over, Sheamus comes out for his match, which, that was just strange. And then they go to commercial. So when they come back from commercial, it's Sheamus and Roman Reigns. At the end of the match, Bray comes up on the screen, makes it appear like he's having a tea party with somebody. Obviously he's implying to Roman that he has his daughter. So Roman chases him backstage, leaves the match. And while Roman's going around, the camera pans, you see that there's nobody in the chair. I do like that Roman went after Bray. That's something we've been talking about, They just let things happen and go about their day. But this is my problem with this. You probably fast-forwarded this match. It was 18 minutes.
Wait, Jeff, let's back up for a second because I want to make something clear here, okay? The reason why we did not say one word about primetime players or the Ascension is because we could care less about this match. This was a throwaway match because nothing has been done creatively to get either of these teams over. So what you did was you put a match out there that we care so little about that we didn't even discuss it. Because no story, primetime players, no story, Ascension. You're not going to just there and get them over. Because as you could see, Jeff and I did not spend 30 seconds talking about that match. Because there was absolutely no reason in the world to watch that. So go ahead. The Sheamus thing was 18 minutes now.
18 minutes, no finish, nothing. Like Roman runs to the back, they go to commercial. There's never a bell. There's never a count out. We're not told when we come back, hey, Sheamus won by count out.
So it was 18 minutes of filler.
18 minutes with no finish. Like, I mean, like at least say, ring the bell, count him out, 10, Sheamus wins. I mean, that's what should have happened. But it's just like to screw it. Because Roman left, we don't need to finish. But that's 18 minutes with no finish. That is just – it's mind-blowing, man. Like
Jeff, and then Jeff, listen, they follow it up with no finish in Roman Reigns and Bray. Bray, why would Bray want to lure him back there unless it was to get him in the trap, get the upper hand on him, get some heat on Roman Reigns? What they're going to tell you, bro, is Bray Wyatt is playing psychological games with Bray. No, guys, it was a psychological game last week. Let's see some freaking action. Okay, bro? Because when they have the match, Bray isn't going to beat him by his brain power. He's not going to stand in the ring and look at him and beat him psychologically. It's going to be physical. So we had the psychology last week. Let Bray up the trap this week. Let Bray get some big time freaking heat on Roman Reigns in the back. But you know why they don't do that, Jeff? It goes back to exactly what you said earlier. Oh my God, we got 4 more weeks till the pay-per-view. If freaking Bray gets to Roman Reigns this week, what are we going to do next week? That's what it is. And you're right, bro. It keeps going back to filler, 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 filler. And I would just love to be sitting there with somebody in the WWE, I don't care who it is, saying, hey, just explain to me why I'm watching this. Why am I sitting through Roman Reigns and Shane? Why am I watching this? I mean, unless I'm Dave Meltzer and I'm going to get off on giving a make-believe wrestling star a match gold stars, why am I investing in this? Nothing's happening here.
So we come back from commercial and Roman finds Bray's secret room. There's creepy pictures of Roman with like his eyes cut out and stuff all over, and it says anyone but you on the wall, which I hope they explain because I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I like it because maybe it's something intriguing. There's a recording playing of Bray singing Little Teapot or whatever that song is, but then like you said, that was it. That ended it for the night. That would have been a perfect opportunity, as you were just pointing out, for Roman's looking at all this stuff, and then Bray comes behind and clobbers him or something. You know what I mean? Like it was a good setup with no finish there. And let's see. Then they replay the opening segment again. This is a good thing. I was happy about watching this on DVR because there was so many replays. I couldn't imagine sitting through all these live. So we go to J&J getting coffee, and Rollins comes in and gives the same speech that he gave to Kane. J&J refuse and walk off. Then Neville and Kofi Kingston was a match. Primetime players come out to get Neville's back because the New Day was starting to, all 3 of them were getting close to him. But then the ref throws out the primetime players, and they didn't even do anything. So I don't know if this is something this is the problem, I think, when we don't know who the referees are. Like, you could, was that the referee's discretion? Is this guy's type of thing? But they're just a prop, where they're just out there. They don't even matter anymore. So I don't know why he threw them out. The announcers were confused with it too, so that was good. But I would have liked some type of strategy to explain why the referee's throwing out these people that haven't done anything. And then he does the same thing with Xavier Woods and Big E. They don't touch Neville, but then they get thrown out. So it was just real confusing to me, and then Neville gets the win. I don't know what that was about.
I don't care. I'm not even going to comment. And again, people are going to write me, bro, how over Neville is. Okay, guys, Neville's over because he beat the guy in a New Day. Okay, he's over. He's over. Bro.
Where are the people that were writing you about the Lucha Dragons, how great they've been since coming up?
Can we talk about the girl yesterday, Jeff? Because, bro, I brought up, this is what I said to her. I said to her yesterday, and I want to refer to her as her. I said to Sarah Russi, Rusi, I said, look at all Jeff's toys, how endearing. Would you look at him as immature, or would you look at the toys as very endearing, almost motherly, and want to bring your head to his bosom, is what I said. And exactly what I said. And she said in so many words, I would take Jeff's head and nuzzle it in my bosom. Now, bro, that right there is better than anything I saw in 3 hours of Raw. I mean, true or false, bro?
True. And she also just assumed that my toys were sex toys. I don't know, like, was she, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Bro, that was a little heavy. That was a little heavy.
That whole.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this train wreck, bro. Let's get back to this.
Flustered.
Let's get back to this snooze fest, bro.
Okay. King Barrett comes out to silence. They've slaughtered this guy. Absolute silence. Like, seriously, watch it. There's no boos. There's no cheers. It's like we're going to get popcorn. And it's awful because this guy is super talented, and they've absolutely killed him with this King gimmick. But we've discussed that before. I don't want to get into it again. But Zack Ryder's his opponent, who's already in the ring again, no entrance, which I don't think we've seen him since that match with Cena. So it's just like odd, like these people, like we had Adam Rose later, just like a bunch of people that we haven't seen, but yet they just didn't do anything with them. What made me laugh was like they showed this R-Truth comical type promo beforehand, which Barrett didn't see because it's playing while he's walking to the ring. So then Michael Cole says during the match that King Barrett is so out of whack by what R-Truth has been saying about him that it's got him out of his game. Like, to me, that was just like nobody's buying that. Nobody's going to believe that. So Barrett goes over. They're not going to see you, Vince. You got to make a noise.
Jeff, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping here, Jeff.
I know they won't see you sleeping.
Jeff, go on. I'm just sleeping. I'm just taking a little nap, a little power nap. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm listening to every word you say. Go ahead.
So I think they've slaughtered Barrett.
Let me stop you right there. Okay, let me stop you right there, bro. The only thing interesting about listen to the reality about this, Jeff. Okay, the only thing interesting I've ever seen about this Barrett character, okay, bro, is there were a couple of episodes of Total Divas, bro. He was dating that hot chick. What's her name?
Alicia Fox.
Who was in love with him. Like absolutely head over heels for him. And he broke it off. And I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, are you like out of your, like just absolutely out of your mind? Like, please don't tell me the wrestling business is more important to you than having Alicia Fox as your girlfriend. Please don't tell me that, bro. That was the only thing I've ever seen interesting with this. That he had the hot girlfriend, and bro, keep in mind, bro, you got the whole interracial thing there, which is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bro. Like if I'm watching Total Divas and I see that becomes my storyline. Okay, that is my storyline right there, and that's a way to get a beautiful girl on the show because she is Alicia Fox, right? She's gorgeous, and to make Barrett real. But we go from that to I want to know who hands the guy the Burger King outfit like before every show. And like, does he say to the prop guy, whoever it is, he's got to say to somebody, do I really have to put this on? Like, is this a rib on me? Please tell me I don't really. He has to be saying that to somebody. I don't care about any of that. I was just going to say, I already forgot who his opponent was, but Zack Ryder, and we built him up with the entourage. We built him up with the entourage thing 3 weeks ago. So he would mean something here in the job that he did for Barrett. I don't know, bro. I got something deep in my ear here, and this is a lot more interesting than what we're talking about. I got to be honest with you. Go ahead.
Last time I picked up Rudy from the airport, I was waiting for him, and Barrett walks by, and this dude, he was dressed like The Rock.
Yeah, I believe it.
$500 shirt, the shades, like walking like he was the man.
I believe it.
So it's like, I feel like you exactly what you just said. The stuff writes itself because a lot of people, they'll get a really hot girlfriend like Alicia Fox, okay, like he did, and then their confidence and their ego, like, well, if I can get her, I can get somebody hotter than her. So they ditch the girl to try to upgrade themselves. But then wouldn't it be funny, like if then he strikes out with like all these chicks and everybody's like, oh my God, what have I done? I had right. This, that stuff writes itself. Like you were saying, that's so much more entertaining than I'm a king because I won King of the Ring. They show a highlight of Kevin Owens and Michael Cole interview from the website. It was exactly the same thing that Owens said last week in his in-ring promo. So nothing new there. Then Cena comes out. Listen, obviously this isn't Cena's fault, but there's got to be a point. This guy has got to – how has he not snapped and just beat the crap out of Kevin Owens? It's not logical. You know what I mean? Especially after what Owens did to him at the pay-per-view. I just I don't. They're not doing him any favors by having him come to the ring and just cut promos instead of going to try to kill this guy. Yeah. But he cuts a promo saying Kevin Owens is a garbage human being. Owens comes out, blah blah blah, nothing new, and then Owens starts speaking French because he was playing a joke on being the foreign. I guess it was like a Rusev type thing. I'm going to be the foreigner heel, so they'll cheer you. And then Cena starts speaking French and Chinese. That's impressive. But then he accepts his challenge for the U.S. title. But I just Cena. I don't understand logically why John Cena would not be trying to just destroy this guy and just not fed up with him.
I don't understand logically why would Cena make the comment that I'm going to be in a match that I may lose. You just beat the guy. Well, you understand, bro? Again, go back to any MMA fight. Go back to any. Ken Shamrock lost to Kimbo Slice. Lost to him. Didn't beat him. Put the shoe on the other foot. Kimbo Slice just beat Ken Shamrock. Say there's going to be a rematch. Is Kimbo Slice going to say, I might be in a rematch that I might lose? You just beat the guy. I mean, you understand? Like I'm saying, I'm like, Cena just beat the guy. Why is he saying I'm going to be in a match? I mean, that's what I mean, bro. It's like, it's so cookie cutter 101. And bro, you want to talk about filler. They said everything here they've been saying for the last 6 weeks. The only difference in this was Owen spoke French. Okay.
And Cena called Machine Gun Kelly a 95-pound musician. So I guess musician, I guess it doesn't mean anything anymore. So I'm a musician now.
Yeah, I can see you're a musician, Jeff. I was very impressed. I wish you would have told me that last night because I could have used that in the hookup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a musician as well. But I mean, there was nothing new there. So I just look, Cena has do the character some favors and just have him snap and just beat the crap out of Kevin Owens. Like we're at the point now where he should do it. And it'd be good TV.
Yep.
So then we go to Stephanie, Triple H, and Seth Rollins. Triple H gives his weekly Kevin Owens rub by he's still on the screen, and him and Stephanie talk about Kevin Owens. I've noticed this is becoming a thing now.
Of course it is.
But they tell him that he needs to Seth Rollins, you need to apologize. You need to say I'm sorry, and you need to get these guys back together that helped you win that World Heavyweight Championship. See, like at that point, why is Seth Rollins not saying, no, they didn't. Nobody helped me win this. Every time J&J Security tried to help me, I lost, or they screwed something up. Like, it's then we go to the Bella Twins. Notice no Paige. No Paige on the show. So, like, I don't know what's going on with that. I just wanted to say that before I forgot. But we go to the Bella Twins versus with Alicia Fox, because I guess she's their – something happened on SmackDown where she's their friend now, so she dresses like them. I don't know. Like, you ever become friends with somebody and then, like, the next day you're wearing their clothes? Like, I just –
Bro, I have been walking around with a backwoods Yankee hat of late. I didn't want to say that, Jeff, because I was a little embarrassed. But, when you and I aren't on the air, I mean, just so you know, bro, between us, between friends, I put on my Yankee hat. I wear it backwards. But, yeah, bro, I don't know. Jeff, I don't even know what to say, bro. I can't even I honestly, I'm not even joking out. I can't even remember who the opponent was in this match. Like, who was the opponent?
Naomi and Tamina.
Okay. All right. I couldn't even remember that.
So man, that Tamina, she is built. You seen the arms on this girl?
Yeah, she's a beast.
There was an interesting spot, and I thought she played it well, but this is where I think when you're too choreographed, that's when things start to look fake. The ref got in her way and like totally took her down. I don't know if you saw this.
No, like this was 4 arrows all the way, bro.
Okay, all right. So Brie Bella is outside. She's not in the match. She's on the tag, with the tag rope. So Tamina goes over to kick her in the stomach or to hit her or something, and the ref like totally gets in her way, and it was like a boom, and Tamina goes flying. And so she gets up, plays it well, starts yelling at the ref, but meanwhile, like Bree's still trying to kick her. And then so she turns around and then she kicks her. Like it just looked totally fake. And this is where I think 2 choreographed and 2 rehearsed spots hurt. They, because Tamina played it well and went with the flow. It would have been nice if Bree went with the flow as well. But that's nitpicking. But I think that's something that just makes it look bad. But there was a miscue with Tamina and Naomi, and the Bellas go over.
Well, I am glad, though. I mean, I will say this. I am happy that we're going to be seeing more of Alicia Fox on the show. I think like I've said all along, I think she's a beautiful girl. And, I mean, I think it's good that they get her on the show. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Just do something with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But, yeah, dude, her eyes. Like, she's got the best eyes. I don't know if she wears fake contacts or not. I really don't care. Her eyes are killer.
Yeah.
But no Paige at all. So I don't understand what all last week was about. Honestly, I hope they dropped it because it was awful. But then, oh my God, did you see this Terminator commercial?
No. Jeff, listen, you got to understand. So I'm on 4 arrows all the way at this point. Now, I'm at now. Let's get this over with mode. But go ahead. Tell me about the Terminator commercial.
So Michael Cole says, check out the Terminator Genesis trailer. So they go to it. And they keep splicing in the middle of the trailer shots of Roman Reigns wrestling. Like, make no sense. Like, I was like, what is this? This is the most awkward and ridiculous thing. Like, they would show part of the trailer, and you see Sarah Connor, like, talking, we can stop Judgment Day. We can go back and stop it. And then they cut to...
Is it the old Sarah Connor?
No, it's the girl. She's on Game of Thrones. What's her name? She plays Daenerys. I know you don't watch it, but she plays... one of the main characters on Game of Thrones. Emily Clark, I think is her name. But they show her, like, she's talking. We can stop Judgment Day. We can go back in time and stop it. And then they show Roman Reigns kicking Bray Wyatt in the face. And like, then they go back to the Terminator trailer and continue that. And then they cut back to Roman Reigns doing something.
Was it ever explained, or?
At the beginning, it said Roman Reigns and the Terminator, 2 machines or something. Like, it was just bad. It was total cheese. Like, stuff like that, I think makes Roman Reigns look bad. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at least he's not giving Bray Wyatt a noogie, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
So then we go to Ryback versus Mark Henry.
Oh, God.
With Big Show on commentary. Here's their logic with this one. Okay, Ryback's going to be fighting a big guy in Big Show, so let's show that he can beat up a big guy. Let's put him against Mark Henry. I think that's the logic there. But Ryback goes over, and then Big Show yells at Mark Henry for losing. Okay.
It's so much better than when Mark Henry was sexual chocolate. Just it's so much more compelling and entertaining. And oh my God, bro.
I just think about him suing China for sexual harassment. That's one of my favorite things.
No, bro. Are you kidding me? I most definitely would rather watch something like this. Are you kidding me, bro?
Then we go to JoJo interviewing Ryback. And then Big Show comes in, and, like, JoJo's gone. Like, I think he ate her, engulfed her somehow, but she was just gone as soon as the Big Show came in. And you see the nails on her? Like, you see her nails?
Bro, I'm 5 arrows deep at this point, bro.
Okay.
Bro, if I go one more arrow, my DVR is gonna remember the old Mission Impossible tape? It used to play the message and then it would like explode. Bro, if I go one more arrow with this DVR, my entire entertainment system is gonna go up in smoke, bro. It's going as fast as it can at this point.
Oh man. So Big Show comes in, calls Ryback a little bitty baby, like legit. He's like, "You're a little bitty baby." So then they get into it, have a backstage fight, which it was nice to see, like some old school.
Yeah, that's good. I like
thrown
that.
into the pipes that are always laying about.
Yeah, I like a good backstage fight. I don't have an issue with that.
So Ryback gets the upper hand there. Big Show's left laying.
Bro, you know what you and me are starting to be like, bro? I hate to say it. We're starting to be like the two robots in science fiction theater 3000, bro. I mean, that's what this is turning into, bro. They watch these cheesy movies and they're sitting there and they're commenting on these cheesy movies. You know, I mean, I know that ICP, later did that with like cheesy music videos. That's what we're doing, bro. We're sitting here, we're commenting. It's turning into us commenting on a cheesy wrestling show, but this is like supposed to be like real.
It's so sad. I mean, I didn't want to sound negative last week, but you saw this coming. Like after a decent episode, you saw this coming, and it's sad because last week had so much. You could see the effort. But then we go to Dolph Ziggler versus Adam Rose. Another one with no entrance. Adam Rose, I don't know if they're turning him evil, so now he's got the evil mustache. But he cut a promo about revealing a masterpiece. Don't know what that was about. Maybe it was something from SmackDown or whatever. I don't know. But then him and Rosa, like, I love us too. I guess that's they're saying. Dude, I laughed so hard. I know there's no way you were watching this. But at the end of the match, Adam Rose, he's climbing the turnbuckles. And Rose is looking up at him going, I love us. And he's climbing the turnbuckles and he's like, I love us too. Like, it was so, like, I don't know. I just got a kick out of it. Like,
bro, listen, the more and more I think of this, listen, next week, we got to talk about this, bro. We may do this live during the show because, bro, if we're going to do science theater mystery, let's just go all the way with it. Let's just live during the show, bro. We'll do this. Whoever wants to tune in and see it, they can see it. But I mean, bro, think about how much better this would be if it were actually on right now.
Yeah.
Bro, you know those Christopher Guest movies, Best in Show, The Mighty Wind. You know all those, right, bro? Where they kind of, bro, you got to watch these things because they like parody, like, like one of the movies is called Best in Show. It's about like the Westminster, kennel, the big dog show they have, but they parody it. Like of what all the dog owners are like. And I mean, they parody the whole thing. They had one, Mighty Wind, which was about, these old time folk singers got together to have one last concert. So like, it's a parody on the folk singing, folk era, That's what this is, bro. This is like this is a parody of. Okay, guys, this isn't really the show. This is a parody of the wrestling show. Who's the guy named Axl Rose, bro? What does he do now? What's he saying up there now, bro?
Adam Rose. He's I love us too. Like nonchalantly as he's climbing the ropes.
Now, bro, this is 5 minutes after Big Show said what?
Little bitty baby. But dude, I laughed. Like I like that. I don't know, like stupid stuff like that. That entertained me because it cost him the match. He lost because of this.
Bro, can you imagine if anybody in Titan Tower ever watched this? Like how hated we would be, bro. Like they would like absolutely hate us so much, but like they don't understand. Like we're really doing this to be bitter because like we hate the WWE. No, bro, we're doing this because this is absolutely ridiculous.
So Ziggler wins, and then he starts to make out with Lana and starts to let her hair down. I don't know if you saw that.
Bro, I saw this because how ridiculous is it, bro? Okay, this is the parody now. We're back to parody now, bro. I've never in my life, and bro, I've seen a million movies, bro, where you've got the sexy secretary with the hair in the bun and the glasses, and then the glasses come off and she does this gimmick. I mean, I've seen it a million times, bro. I've never seen a woman let her hair down, but then it's still in a ponytail. So we're going through stages of her letting her hair down. I mean, bro, if that's not a parody, like, I don't know what is. I've never seen that before, bro. And I've seen a million girls let their hair down, but I've never seen a girl let her hair down and it falls into a ponytail.
I know, the hair tie's still in there. Ridiculous. So while they're making out, Rusev is watching
bro. Can I be honest with you? If you put this show in place of Raw, this show is not going to be more entertaining and draw a higher number than Raw. I mean, come on, bro, please. All right, go ahead now. Rusev is mad. Let me finish. Rusev is mad in the back. He throws his crutches. He falls on the floor. I think it was Summer Rae comes up and helps him up or gives him the crutch or something like this. And okay, we're going to a tag match with Rusev and Summer Rae against Dolph Ziggler and Lana. Okay, yay! Can't wait for that one.
You ever watch Family Guy?
No, I don't.
They do this bit where the guy Peter, he's the dad, where he falls down and he just goes and just it's so comical, and that's what I saw when Rusev fell. I'm like, this looks like Family Guy. Like, that was so bad. But yes, Summer Rae comes and she says Lana's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we got Authority. It's Stephanie and Triple H asking J&J and
do
Kane.
You know? I mean, not for anything, bro, but do you notice, like, since my comment from a couple of weeks ago, Stephanie is not wearing bad drapery anymore, bro. She's wearing black dresses and not like bad looking rugs or curtains or like whatever the heck it is she was wearing. But I did want to point that out.
Yes, if anything we have discussed that we would want them to use on the show, it was the fashion advice.
Yes.
So Stephanie and Triple H are asking J&J and Kane to hear out Rollins. So then Rollins goes to the ring, calls out J&J and Kane, says he wants to apologize. Says he's not afraid of Lesnar, has nothing to do with Lesnar. And then, I mean,
Bro, you know, before I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jeff, but this sums up the whole show. It's this simple. If you want to say one thing about this whole show, this sums up the whole show. And I hate to bring you back in the day, Jeff, but you know, back in the day, you would set up that segment one with either Austin or The Rock or Undertaker and Kane or DX. You would set that up in seg one, carry it through, and then bring it home in the last segment. Okay? Bro, if you want to sum up this show, it's as simple as this. You have Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury in the ring at the end of the show. Bro, if this were back in the Attitude Era, not only would these guys be nowhere near a wrestling ring in the end of the show, they would not be on the roster. They would not be good enough to make NXT. Nobody would have ever heard of these two guys. But these are the two guys that after 3 hours are in the ring for the payoff. That right there tells you how bad this show is. Right there. That right there. The fact you put the show on at 11 o'clock and you see Noble and Mercury in the ring, that's how bad this show is. It's that simple. But go ahead, Jeff. I don't want to interrupt you.
It got worse later. I don't know if you fast forwarded it, but
no, I actually saw the end. I actually watched this.
So Rollins this was bad. I mean, he's begging them, please take me back. I believe that was his exact words. Please take me back. I just, who thinks? I mean, it's just very strange that somebody like Vince McMahon could sit there with his extensive knowledge, experience, being, the wrestling guy of all time, and look at this and say, yes, this makes my champion look good. Like, I don't understand that. I just really don't. And I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like they purposely said, let's make Seth Rollins look awful, because that's exactly what they did. So Lesnar comes out and the Authority ditches Rollins. But then they come back and they sneak up on behind. Lesnar destroys him, suplexes Rollins a bunch of times. Kane comes back in, choke slams Lesnar, goes for another. Lesnar counters with a suplex, and then Rollins comes back, and then all of them start beating on him. And then Vince, Joey Mercury is absolutely wailing on Brock Lesnar. Like, why? Like, who said? I just don't understand the logic. You got Brock Lesnar. I don't care if Kane's helping him. I don't care if Seth Rollins is helping him. You got Joey Mercury. Boom, boom, boom.
Bro, I got to tell you that I hit upon this like in something I wrote, I think. Bro, like when I was writing, bro, like, and I was writing for Austin and I was writing for The Rock, I wouldn't even think about pitching them something like that. I wouldn't even think about, okay, and Mercury gets heat on you. Like, I wouldn't, those guys would have laughed me, not Austin. Austin would have punched me. Rock would have just laughed me out of the building. You know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't even think about, like, that thought wouldn't even, Steve, and here's where Jerry Briscoe lays into you. Like, you wouldn't even think about, like, pitching that. Because, well, first of all, the thought would never run through your mind. But then if it did, like, again, bro, it's like when this is being pitched to Brock, I mean, he's got to say what? Joey who? Is he on this show? I mean, bro, he has to be saying that because it's so I don't know. And Jeff, think about this logic. Let me think. Let me lay this logic out to you. Okay, think about this. There's a bully that's after Jeff Lane, right, Jeff? And you find out that the bully is at this bar. Okay, somebody smartens you up. He's at a bar. So you get all your friends together and you go to the bar to confront the bully. Okay, bro? So now you leave the bully lying in the bar. You and your friends leave him lying. You put your foot on his back. You strike the pose, the whole 9 yards, right? In the meantime, you know that in a couple of weeks, I have to fight this bully one-on-one without my friends. Like, just think about the logic in that, bro. Me and my friends are gonna beat this guy. I'm gonna stand on his back. I'm gonna pound my chest. And oh, by the way, I gotta face the bully by myself in a couple of weeks. It's a parody, bro. This is a parody of professional wrestling. And bro, I gotta tell you something. If they packaged it as that, and if they put over this show, they put that disclaimer at the top of the show, this show is a parody of professional wrestling, I think it would be more over. I really think it would be more over because now you're watching it saying, oh, okay, it's a parody. They're making fun of wrestling. But they're not. I mean, like, this is the show. And, like I said, bro, if you're investing in this show for 3 hours and at the end of the show, the main event spot, Joey Mercury and whatever his name is are in the middle of the ring. I mean, you got problems, bro. That's all I could say.
I just don't understand how anybody. I mean, you could ask a 10-year-old kid, what do you think if Joey Mercury was in the ring beating on Brock Lesnar? The kid's gonna laugh. Do you think Seth Rollins is a tough guy and deserves to be world champion if he's begging these people to take him back? Kid's gonna laugh. I mean, I just don't understand how you take these guys. This is your main event of your pay-per-view, and they made them both look awful last night. Just awful.
Jeff, the closest to a chicken shit heel in my day that I can compare a Seth Rollins to, the closest, honestly, was a Double J. Okay, a Jeff Jarrett, who, first of all, like, I'm talking about WWE now. First of all, was never WWE champion. That's number one. He was the Intercontinental champion. That's number one. But Double J was the chicken shit heel who somehow, some way outsmarted his opponent or figured out how to lose matches without losing his belt. He really outsmarted his opponents. He was half their size. He had a big mouth. He could wrestle like Rollins. Jarrett was a great wrestler. But, I mean, you never saw him, the coward, running from people. I mean, you never saw that. He'd get his butt whooped. But somehow, some way, that SOB came out of the match with the belt. And bro, I can remember Jeff telling me this. Jeff told me that when he was the Intercontinental champion, bro, he never won a match. He never won a match as the Intercontinental champion. But I mean, bro, like, that's the way you do it. And keep in mind, we're talking about the Intercontinental title here. We're not talking about the World Heavyweight title. I don't know, bro. I don't know what the logic is. I like Seth Rollins. I would love to see him with an edge. I would love to see him. I've had enough. I can fight my own battles. I beat Ambrose by myself. You know what? I may go in there and Brock Lesnar may kick my you-know-what, but, I'm going to get right back up. I mean, whatever. But I don't know, bro.
I don't see how anybody can defend this program last night as must see. Something important happened. It's compelling television. It's a good wrestling show. Nothing fits it. Nothing. And if they had competition, head-to-head competition last night, on at the same exact time, people are flipping the channel. I don't care what it is. And that's, in my opinion, that's the only way we're ever going to get this show to get better on a permanent basis, as if they have to, as if another company is on from 8 to 11 on Monday nights, and there's a threat that somebody might watch that. It's the only way that that they're going to sit back and say, you know what, this show is bad. We need to fix it now. It's not going to happen, man. I just don't. I mean, we're at almost a year of probably about a year of you reviewing these shows, and nothing. And we're at the same spot as we were a year ago. You know what I mean? Nothing's gotten better. I hate to say it, but unless there's ever competition, we're not gonna see any motivation to make this show better.
Bro, I can remember it like it was yesterday, because you're right, Jeff. I've been doing this about a year. And I swear, Jeff, I can remember it like it was almost yesterday. There were, I'd say, Jeff, there were 2 times that I popped in the last year. Okay. And I'll tell you what what they did to earn my pop for one of them. They earned my pop one time. The other pop was a gimme pop. I mean, bro, the first time we saw Sting come out, I mean, had nothing to do with the creative geniuses at the WWE. Nothing. If you didn't pop when Sting came out, then you're just not a wrestling fan. So, of course, like everybody else, I popped when Sting came out. Had nothing to do with the way they wrote it, the way they presented it, nothing, okay? The only time, bro, I swear to you, Jeff, because I remember it vividly, they've popped me in the last year is they had Miz come out, and Miz was just returning. Miz was off of TV for a long time, right? Then, bro, so like they built it up, Miz's return, Miz's return, Miz's return, okay, bro? So Miz comes out, cuts the promo. Then, bro, they hit Jericho's music. We didn't know Jericho was going to be on the show. So I guess, Jeff, you can almost compare that to the Sting pop. Okay, Jericho's back on the show. Yay, yay, yay. We weren't expecting it. But then Jericho, if you remember, was going toe-to-toe with Miz. Blackout. Jericho turned around. Bray Wyatt was in his face. Bray Wyatt laid him out. Bro, that's the only thing I can remember over the past year. That was the one time where I'm like, this was great television. The way they laid this segment out was absolutely great. Bro, that was almost a year ago. We were just starting Pyro and Ballyhoo at the time. And I mean, you mean to tell me there's one thing I remember in the last year? I mean, come on, bro. But Jeff, what are you gonna do? I mean, it is what it is, bro. And we're the robots in science mystery theater, and now wrestling's a parody of itself. And we have a 22-year-old asking Jeff about his toys. I don't know, bro. I don't know what the world's coming to, Jeff. I really don't, man. Do you?
No.
Jeff, I'm just afraid that if we science mystery theatered it live, and like we would both be laughing so hard that like we would get a lot of heat.
Probably, yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, it's like, I don't know, Jeff.
Do you have a performer of the night?
Do I have a performer of the night?
Yes.
I was going to say, yeah, bro, the guy that rolled the credits at the end of the show, but I forgot that Vince McMahon doesn't give anybody credit for working on the show. I forgot. I almost forgot that, bro. So, because, I mean, I would say it was that. While I think of it, Jeff, what's yours?
Cena for being able to speak Chinese. That's I mean, there was nothing these people could do with this material last night. So the fact that Cena could go out there and speak both French and Chinese, I thought was really, really impressive.
Well, I think that mine is going to be what I was impressed by was that Michael Cole was able to take a noogie from Brock Lesnar. That was so that's gonna be my performance of the night, bro. You know what's so funny, bro? I watched this wrestling business, and then I swear, bro, and TNA too. Listen, I'm going to give them a chance because Corgan's in there and he's just starting and everything. But bro, everything I watch with TNA, every story is the guys are fighting because they're mad at each other. That's the premise of every story, bro. It's like these guys all week, the guys and the girls, they live someplace else. And then on this night, they all gather at this arena and they all fight each other because they're mad at each other. I can't be bothered with that, okay? But like in the same breath, bro, here's the sad part, Jeff. In the same breath, in this last week, in the last couple of days, freaking Gunner, Jeff, who is a legitimate war hero, and a badass and the real deal. Like when I look at Gunner, I'm like, he's one of those guys that, you know what? If you piss this guy off, he'd kill you. I mean, you just know it about the guy. He's got that sense of, he's the real deal, bro. He fought in a freaking war. You know what I'm saying, bro? It doesn't get any more real than that. You and I will never, ever, Jeff, be able to understand that. Okay. And then, bro, you got a guy like Sam Shaw, I'll be honest with you, Jeff. He's on a Bray Wyatt level. Sam Shaw was on the Bray Wyatt level. Unfortunately, he was in TNA. He wasn't on the main stage in the WWE, but the way he played that character, there's something special about that, bro. You can tell. And when I see in the last couple of days, these two guys were released from TNA, you mean to tell me you don't know how to get a Gunner over, or you don't know how to get a Samuel Shaw over, but we're gonna put Low-Ki out there in a Halloween mask? I mean that right there, bro. That's pathetic. That is pathetic. It's everything that's wrong with wrestling. It's the reason why they're in the position they're in. It's the reason why WWE is in the position they're in. And, you know, bro, yeah, and I mean, not for anything, Jeff. I'm reading Global Force Wrestling results, and, you know, the main event ends when Scott Steiner hits somebody over the head with a 2x4. I don't know, bro. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's almost embarrassing, bro. Because it is a parody of itself. It is, bro.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. You know, I feel like I've beaten this over the head. Yeah. It's just I just don't get the creative thought process. You know, and you mentioned Samuel Shaw. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was one of the people that Billy Corgan put over in your interview with, talking about, you know, creative people and stuff. And I would think he's probably shaking his head at that decision as well.
Bro, when I interviewed Shaw, I said to him, bro, when Billy Corgan gets in there, he's going to know what to do with you. I mean, that's what I go back and watch the interview. I don't know, bro. But
somebody needs to save wrestling for the people like us that enjoyed it when it was good. You know, I'm not here because
I'm going to tell you, Jeff, let me tell you something. You know what needs to happen, bro? I'm going to say this publicly, and I've thought a lot about this, bro. You know what needs to happen? You know where it needs to start? First of all, bro, Jeff, I'm going to say this, okay? And this is going out only to the brand, right?
VIPs only.
What's that?
The VIPs only, right?
Okay, Jeff, I'm going to say this because I'm going to tell you what needs to happen. Jeff, I'm very concerned about TNA. And I honestly believe that the situation is they were moved to Wednesday nights, and they were basically told, if you don't hit this number on Wednesday nights, we're not going to honor this the second year of the contract. That's what I believe. Nobody's told me that, but enough people have said things between the lines where that's what I'm picking up. Okay. Jeff, that caused me to be very concerned about TNA. Jeff, I don't care about Dixie Carter. I'll be honest with you, bro. She's a millionaire. She's gonna have money with or without TNA. Okay. I honestly, bro, I don't want to say I don't care about John Gaborik, but like I was personally hurt enough from John personally, him basically calling me a liar. Whereas, you know what, bro, it's karma. You know what I'm saying? I gave you everything I had, and you turned around and you treated me like an absolute piece of crap. I forgive you, but you know what? So you wind up, losing your job or whatever the case may be. That's karma. Okay, but there are people in that company that I worked with for a really long time. Really, the wrestlers, Jeff, that I know are going to have no place to go. There's not enough spots. And I'm talking about like guys that have been there that I worked a long time with, the Bobby Roodeses, the James Storms, the Eric Youngs, guys like this that have been there really, Madison Rain, Angelina, because they're not going to have no place to go, bro. Okay. I care a lot about Matt Conway. I know Matt just had a baby. I'm concerned about Conway because I know, bro, when you're a wrestling writer, where you going to go? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm concerned about Conway. So, Jeff, I wrote an email on Monday to Dixie Carter, John Gaborik, and Billy Corgan. Okay. And I said
yesterday,
to them,
you did this yesterday?
last Monday.
Last Monday, okay.
And I said to them, I said, listen, I don't know what's going on there. I said, this is what I think. I think what's going on is you haven't, you got to deliver on Wednesday and you got till September. And if you don't, then you're not going to be on the air. I said, if I'm wrong about that, please forgive me. But I said this, I said, I'm concerned about TNA, and I have a lot of friends there, a lot of people I really care about. I said, I want to feel like I'm doing my part because I have ties there of over 10 years. Okay? I said, so this is what I'm offering you. I said, I am offering you my services absolutely free of charge. You do not have to pay me a dime. I said, but I know I can help your company. I know that, working with Billy Corgan, who I think the world of, I said, I think the potential is endless, right? And I said, so I am offering you my services free of charge. I said, the only thing that I ask you is that if it does pay off and Destination America does offer you the second year and does go forward with the second year, then hopefully at that point in time, you'll do the right thing. And maybe I would be able to, benefit from it, monetarily. Maybe you'd pay me to be a consultant or something if I can help you now and guarantee you that second year. And I ended the email like this, Jeff. I said, this is exactly what I said. This is exactly how I feel from my heart. I said, listen, if you don't want to accept this, if you don't want to have anything to do with this, I said, no problem. I said, don't respond to the email. I said, but I will know that at that point, I'll know I did everything I could do. So in other words, if TNA goes belly up in September and all my friends are out of work, I'll be able to say I did everything I could do. Okay? Well, bro, no response. So I'm offering my services free. No response from Dixie. No response from Gaborik. You know who responded? Billy Corgan. And Billy Corgan responded to me and he said, Vince, I want you to know if it were up to me, I would hire you tomorrow. And I'm just curious to see, what management is going to say about your email. Well, they've said nothing. Here's what needs to happen, Jeff. I'll tell you right now. Dixie Carter and John Gaborik are not going to call me, are not going to take that offer of Vince Russo working for them for free for two reasons, bro. Number one, ego is involved. Okay, when I worked with John Gaborik, the John Gaborik I met initially compared to the John Gaborik 10 months later were two different people. By the time we were 10 months later, he knew everything, didn't need me, knew everything he ever wanted to know, need to know about creative, and wanted to be the guy in charge. Okay, so you can't hire somebody, Jeff, when you want to be the guy in charge, you can't hire somebody that knows more than you. You can't, because it's going to make you look bad. So, John Gaborik is not going to hire the guy that brought to TNA 2 million viewers, because God forbid we do 2 million viewers again. Well, now it was Vince Russo and not John Gaborik. So when somebody has an ego like that and they want to be in charge and they want the power, they want minions under them, bro. They want people under them that are going to do exactly what they tell them to do. They don't want a Vince Russo. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if they brought me back even for free, they would have to make the admission pretty much we were wrong about Vince Russo. We did 2 million viewers with Vince Russo, and Vince Russo was the problem. Eric Bischoff, convinced us Vince Russo was the problem. Eric Bischoff convinced Spike Vince Russo was the problem. Well, Vince Russo went away, and we lost the contract with Spike, and now we're not even doing a quarter of what we were doing without him. So there would have to be an admission of guilt. And guess what, Jeff? They're not going to do that because of pride. No, bro, I've said this all along about Dixie Carter. I worked with the woman for over a decade, Jeff. She was the only person in my life that I've never heard say, I was wrong. Those words never came out of Dixie Carter's mouth once. I've heard Vince McMahon say, I was wrong and I made a mistake. Vince McMahon has said that. Never with Dixie Carter. Okay? You know what needs to happen, Jeff? And I'm throwing my hat in the ring. And I don't care. As ridiculous as this sounds, I'm throwing my hat at the ring. You know what needs to happen, Jeff?
What?
A Destination America. A Destination America needs to hire a Vince Russo. So the network can be schooled on these people don't know what they're doing. Destination America, bro, they don't know anything about wrestling. They're relying on John Gaboric and Dixie Carter. They're relying on Joe Knopf, whatever his name is, at Ring of Honor. Okay, I'm sorry, with all due respect, these people don't know what they're doing. And the proof is in the audience they're drawing. TNA drew 2 million people at one point in time. They're not getting 500,000 now. These people that Destination America is relying on don't know what they're doing. Destination America doesn't know a good wrestling show from a bad wrestling show, Jeff. They don't. That's why the network needs to hire a Vince Russo that can. So when they turn around and say, why Vince, why was TNA drawing 2 million people? Now they're drawing 500,000. I could turn around to the network and say, you know why? Because of this, that, and the other thing. Then at that point, the network can go to the two wrestling companies and say, you know what? This is what you need to do. Because, bro, with the two companies, based on their pride, based on their ego, they're not going to bring in somebody better than them. They're just not going to do it. Bro, my whole thing was, here's what it comes down to, Jeff. When you have confidence in yourself, you don't care who you bring in because you know you're going to be better than that other person. So if you can hire somebody that's going to help your product, you bring them in because you got confidence. Bro, I went to Dixie Carter and said, hire Paul Heyman. I got on the phone with Paul Heyman and spoke to him for hours about coming into TNA. And it was clear to me, Paul would only come in if he was in charge. And I told Paul, it's not going to work that way. With Dixie Carter, you're not going to come in here and have carte blanche and be the guy in charge like you were at ECW. It's not going to happen. I told him, I was honest with him. I said, now, if you came in, you could be part of the team, and I'd love for you to come in, but I'm telling you, you're not going to have the stroke that you need. You know what I mean? And, at that point, I brought Dixie and Paul together. And for whatever reason, bro, it never happened. But if I was John Gaboric, what I would have been doing was keeping freaking Paul Heyman as far away as I possibly could from TNA. Because if Paul Heyman comes to TNA, now he's a threat to Vince Russo. No, bro. I got confidence in myself. If Paul Lee wants to go toe-to-toe with me creatively, let's go toe-to-toe creatively. So here's what happens, Jeff. The good people that know what they're doing never get hired in the wrestling business because why, Jeff? It goes back to the age-old theory in wrestling. Everybody is protecting their spot. You think Triple H creatively wants my mind in the WWE? Are you kidding me, Triple H? So when you lay out a show like that like last night that was laid out, Vince Russo will look at you and say, this is a rib, right? This is the make-believe show. You're not going to put this show on the air. That's why everybody's protecting their spot. You can't hire somebody, Jeff, that's better than you. So that's why the good people in the wrestling business, the people that can make a difference and make a change, are on the outside looking in, because everybody's protecting their spot. But it's the network. If the network said, you know what, this Russo guy here, you can say whatever you want about him. Here's the proof in the numbers. This guy must have been doing something right. Whether he rubbed people the wrong way, whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. We need to get people to watch our wrestling show. Then you could talk to the network, and all the network cares about is we want the best numbers possible. There's no politics involved here. If this lunatic can come in and make a difference, we're going to listen to what he has to say. That's what needs to happen, because on their own, Ring of Honor, TNA, they're going to feed Destination America all their bull crap, all the stuff that they don't know and don't have a clue. And Destination America, who hasn't been in the wrestling business before, they got to rely on what these people are telling them. That's what needs to happen, bro.
I mean, you look at it, and you're dead on as far as, like, I mean, not just you, Jim Ross. Look at all these people that are the best at what they do, but they're not in the business. Right, you know, exactly. You could probably take all these people and make, not probably, with the right management, these people could make a better product than what's on any TV right now. The people that are outside the business, I have no doubt. It's just like Jeff, you said that.
Jeff, I had Bubba on the other day. Okay, but me and Bubba talked for about 2 hours, and Bubba is my friend. Jeff, I have to tell you, you can't have a better veteran in the back than Bubba. Bro, I don't want to say Bubba's age now, because I don't, you know, I mean, you wrestlers are funny about that, like with their age. But, bro, I was there at TNA when Bubba and Kurt were the locker room leaders. And Bubba would get involved with every match, and people would go to Bubba. You know, they respected him in the back, and it's hard to find people like that. But you know what, bro? When the wrestlers now start going to Bubba instead of the people in charge, now the people in charge have an issue. Now all of a sudden, bro, Bubba's a headache. Bubba's the big mouth from New York. Bubba's this, Bubba's that. No, bro. No. Bubba knows more than you do, and that's why you don't want Bubba around. It's that simple. But it's like you said, bro, you know, the people like, you know, Bubba, Devon, you know, just another veteran who could add so much to a company. The Jim Rosses, you know, the Vince Russos. You're not going in wrestling, bro. You're not going to hire somebody who's better at something than you are, because it exposes you, bro. It shows your weaknesses. So we're going to protect the spot, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to keep that person out. Bro, listen, I know as a fact, first of all, going back to the early days of Triple H, I wrote every freaking single promo that came out of that guy's mouth. Every single one. When he couldn't come a promo. Bro, I gave him the game. I wrote the promo. I wrote the promo that I'm not, it was something to the effect of I'm not better than the game. I am the game. And I purposely wrote that so they called him the game. 15 years later, he's still the game. Okay, bro? I did everything for that guy. When the stuff happened in Madison Square Garden and he was the scapegoat, I was there for him. Keep your chin up. Don't let them beat you, bro. Keep your chin up. I was there for him all the way. When I had the opportunity to go back to WWE in 2002, and he was married to Stephanie, and he knew that, you know, he had the ability now to get all that power, he was one of the guys preventing me from going there. And I know that. And I know it was because creatively, I would have been a threat to the guy. So rather than hire people that can help your product, that can make it better, like a Jim Ross or a Bubba or people like this, rather than do that, we're going to protect our spots, and the wrestling show is going to be a total parody of itself. People are going to laugh at it, and less and less people are going to watch it every single year. So that's what they choose to do, bro. Rather than, you know what? We need to bring the right people in here. Forget about our egos. Forget about our pride. We need to bring the right people in here. That's not going to happen within the structure of any wrestling company. Bro, this guy, Joe Knopf, when I called him a couple of years ago because I wanted to get back in wrestling, and his line to me was, oh, no, I'm perfectly happy with my booker. Bro, you're perfectly happy doing 175,000 viewers a week? That makes you happy? But, bro, that's why it's in the state that it's in.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'm assuming from everything you've been saying over, however long time we've been doing these shows, that it's very easy. Dixie gets worked easy by her office. So I'm going to assume that. But when you look at somebody like Vince McMahon, arguably one of the greatest businessmen to ever walk this earth, and he knows how much money he made when his ratings were 6s every week, how much merchandise they sold, how house shows were selling out. And, those figures I gave you on our last show about the house shows, those were inflated. I looked at the most recent numbers. They were way below that, even with the Cena shows. They were like 5,000. But, he knows these house shows used to sell out. He had to turn away advertisers, all this stuff. And I know, sometimes you get a little uncomfortable if I put you over, but in this case, I think it's warranted. When all that was happening, you're the guy, along with Ed, that is writing this material. So when you reached out to him, however many months ago it was, and you said, if there's anything I can do to help, I'm here to help you, or whatever that email was that you were talking about on whatever Swerve that was. How does somebody like Vince McMahon, what's going on in his mind for him to say, no, we're good? You know what I mean? Because to me, I would think Vince McMahon cares more about how much money his company's making than anything, Jeff, really.
You want it in a nutshell?
Yeah.
Here's where a huge mistake was made, bro. And bro, I'm telling you this as a father with a daughter. Okay, bro? Once Stephanie was put in that creative position, I don't care if you're Vince McMahon. I don't care if you're Donald Trump. I don't care if you're Vince Russo. I don't care who you are, bro. Your daughter is always going to be daddy's little girl. And, bro, back in 2002, when I know, Triple H was trying to cock block me, the fact of the matter, Jeff, was Stephanie McMahon was head of creative. So Vince Russo would have had to come in and work under Stephanie McMahon. Now, having worked with me and having worked in that creative role with Stephanie, Vince McMahon knew how ridiculous that was. Okay, bro? But we weren't talking about another person here. We were talking about his daughter. And at the end of the day, bro, he's not going to leave egg on the face of his daughter. And I don't blame him for that. And I totally understand that, bro. The minute he put her in charge of creative, no matter how low the ratings went, he was not going to leave egg in her face. He was not going to blame creative. He was not going to point the finger at her. If it was somebody else, Jeff, you know how quickly they would have been fired when those ratings started nosediving, after 2000? There would have been no conversation. But this is his daughter now, bro. This is where the father really comes into play. Same thing today, bro. Triple H is an extension of Stephanie McMahon. So what? I'm going to bring in a Vince Russo now creatively and bring him in and let him have say-so over my daughter's husband? It ain't going to happen. And here's why I know this is a fact, Jeff. A veteran, one of the biggest stars in the business, and I'm not going to mention him by name, one of the biggest stars in the business was looking to return for the WWE. And he got in touch with Vince, and Vince basically said to him, "You've got to talk to Triple H," which blew the guy away. I mean, absolutely. Like, are you kidding me? So I think Vince looks at Stephanie and Triple H as one. It's still his daughter, bro. Once he crossed that line and made it personal and put her in that position, he's never going to point the finger at her. He's never going to put egg on her face. And that's, bro, there's been a 15-year slide in freaking ratings, bro. 15 years. Like I said, if it were anybody, bro, if Stephanie wasn't involved in creative, I guarantee you, Jeff, we would have probably saw at least 6 changes in that 15 years if nobody would have been able to bring the ratings up. I guarantee you. But it's his freaking daughter, bro. And that now Triple H is the father of his grandchildren. There you go.
It's a shame. I just, I go back to there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why you're here, is because we grew up as fans of wrestling. And now there's people like us that knew what it was like when it was great. We're not the only ones, but the majority of our listeners feel the same way as us. I just feel like somebody's got to do something for us. Give us what made us fall in love with this industry. You know what I mean? Give me that show. And I don't know. It's sad, man. I really am starting to think that when the Vince McMahon is taking out of the picture, that this business may die.
Very well made, bro. Very well made. But you know what, Jeff? You and I, we always have the lingerie models.
That's true. That is true. We can get creative with that. We can get very creative with that.
But yeah, we got a little off the beaten path, Jeff, and this is another hour and a half worth of Raw the morning after, and we kind of talked a little bit more about Raw, but that's what needs to happen, bro. I mean, that's what needs to happen. Bro, can you imagine, like, that? I can only imagine, like, the Ring of Honors of the world and the TNAs, like, of Destination America, having the idea of hiring a Vince Russo. Bro, they would do like whatever was in their power to just absolutely like just bury me. Like that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen to them. Because you know what, bro? You know why? Now they have to be held accountable. Now there would be somebody saying, well, you're drawing less than 500,000 people because of this. And you really need to change this. They'd be held accountable. Nobody wants to be held accountable, bro. Nobody.
It's kind of like when students in a classroom, like if their teacher's out for a while and they have the substitute and they're just misbehaving, and then the real teacher comes back and it's like, oh crap, now we gotta behave. Now, you know what I mean?
Yep. So that's why we have a parody of wrestling today. And Jeff, listen, great show again and again, bro. Jeff, I don't know. Should we apologize again? Are we apologizing again for how we honestly feel about this show? What are we doing?
Listen, if we have to apologize, then we're not doing what the brand is paying us to do, and that is be 100% honest with how we feel about the show. And listen, it's not – I'm not going to sit here and apologize for a crap show and me telling you the truth, because it is crap. That's not my fault. That's not Vince's fault. That's WWE's fault. That's all on them. So if anybody is upset with what we said about last night's show, go watch last week's show. Okay, when there's a glimmer of some type of hope, we'll put it over. And if they start putting on good shows, we're going to tell you it. I don't get enjoyment out of hating the show every week, man. I don't. I want to like wrestling. I don't want to sit down and be like, ugh, I have to watch Raw because we got to talk about it tomorrow. I mean, that's what it's come to. Yeah. So no, I'm not going to apologize for their creative effort, lack of creative effort. Absolutely not. I've made the mistake of doing it before. I'm not going to do it again.
And Jeff, it's just another thing, bro. You know, we talk about you know, Raw is a television show. Jeff, you gotta remember too. Listen, bro. You know what started Sunday night on HBO, right?
What started Sunday night?
The new season of True Detective.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that show. My brother loves it, but I've never seen it.
Well, Jeff, you got to understand. I'm coming off of, Jeff, the first episode of True Detective. So, like, bro, you think like, okay, listen, you give them the first episode, they got to lay down the groundwork. So yeah, it's almost like you give it to them. It's going to be slow. We got to explain who everybody is. Bro, I'm sitting there on Sunday night, I'm watching the first episode of True Detective, and I'm like, how this comes out of somebody's mind is like, I don't even know how that happens. Like, I can't comprehend being that smart, being that creative, the actors being that good, the dialogue being that well written. I can't comprehend it. It's like, how this is so good. It's like it's on another level. Like, how does this even happen? And then, bro, the next night I'm watching Raw. So, like, of course, I'm going to think about what I just came off of. And in the same time period, bro, you know, whatchamacallit is on 9 o'clock at night. True Detective, 9 o'clock at night. I'm looking at these two, and I'm like, seriously, if they said Raw was a parody of wrestling, and it's a Christopher Guest movie, it's acceptable. But when you're telling us to take this seriously and you got this other type of programming quality, bro, it's just hard to take seriously.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to apologize? Do you feel the need to apologize?
What are we apologizing for? Like, what are we what are we apologizing for?
It's a good question.
And bro, not only, but I'm going to say this for the last time, bro. I'm going to bring this up. We didn't even bring this up, bro. Bro, look at the time and the effort and the weeks and the months they put into building Mizdow. Okay? All that stuff, bro, that was hysterical that he made hysterical. Not the writers. Let's make that clear. All that stuff, Jeff. All that time, Jeff. Jeff, when's the last time this guy's been on the show? Now, how do you not, Jeff, how do you not point the finger at somebody for that? How do you not say, we put 6 months into this guy on television every single week. He himself was getting over with the people. Now he's not on TV for 4 weeks.
Where's Randy Orton last night?
Huh?
Where was Randy Orton last night? Like, dude, I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true because you never know with these dirt sheets. I can't remember where I read this, but they have the philosophy in the creative room. If a talent is not on the upcoming pay-per-view, then they're not going to worry about them on the Raws leading up to it. Like, I don't understand that.
Well, because they don't care about protecting their characters, bro, and that's why nobody's over. But Jeff, we could go on all day, and no, I'm not going to apologize, guys. I mean, they should. I'll be honest with you, they should apologize to us. You know, I mean, for making us sit through that show, and you know, even with DVR, we should get, the wrestling fans should get the apology. But Jeff, that's it. You know, we'll be back here. New slate next week. We'll start all over again, bro. If it's good, we'll say it's good. If it's bad, we're gonna say it's bad. That's it for this week. Raw the day after. Again, guys, since you are subscribers, I just want to remind you about the Amazon gimmick on VinceRussoBrand.com. The premium Amazon, if you want to try that for a month, that helps us out, financially supporting the show. So, Jeff, any last words before we go and to do chicken necks and not chicken necks, lions and tigers in the next 3 days?
Tell your friends, but don't spoil it for them, about this conversation we had after talking about Raw. I mean, if you don't think that conversation was worth the money you pay monthly, then don't promote it to your friends. But I really think stuff like that is what the brand gets. We didn't plan that conversation before we went on the air. That you were going to say what needs to happen and how somebody like you needs to be working for Destination America. I mean, you're not going to hear that stuff anywhere. So if you enjoy supporting us and you want to help us out, please tell your friends. Tell them what you get when you pay your monthly fee here at the brand, and let's bring them aboard. That's all I ask. If you guys can help us out, it benefits not only us but everybody. We can keep doing this, and with more content.
And not only that, Jeff, let's not forget, yesterday alone, we had an Emmy. I interviewed an Emmy, Jeff, an Emmy award-winning journalist, and we talked about integrity. I talked about integrity with a real journalist. I told a real journalist the problems I have with the internet wrestling community and some of the stuff they report and how they report it, and I got an Emmy-winning journalist opinion on that. And also, Jeff, we had a lingerie model on in this, bro. Where are you going to find an Emmy award-winning broadcaster, journalist, and a lingerie model on in the same day, bro?
In lingerie. She wore lingerie in the interview.
She wore lingerie in the interview, Jeff. And Jeff, you know what was really sad? The more listen, did you notice this in the interview last night too, bro? The more the top of her head was getting cut off, the more cleavage she was showing. But I knew that, and I'm thinking of the brand, guys. I am thinking of the brand. She's half her head is cut off, but the more her head is cut off, the more cleavage she's showing. So I know if I tell her to adjust her shot, Jeff, and bring the camera up, the brand wasn't going to see the cleavage. You see what I'm saying? So for a good part of this interview, we had to go with half the head so we could share the cleavage with the brand. Things like this, people, bro, I don't know. Do they appreciate this, Jeff?
They will when they see it.
Okay. But that's it, everybody. Me and my dear, dear, great friend, Jeff Lane. We will be right back here in a couple days. Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Dirt. Until then, we'll catch everybody on the rebound. See you soon.